Hello and welcome to the Leadership Conversation series. Today we have the one and only Mr. Ananthakrishna, Chairman of the Karnataka Bank Limited. Mr. Ananthakrishna, indeed pleasure and honor to have you here for the Leadership Conversations.
It's my pleasure and privilege.
Tell me something, in fact, when you took over the mantle of being the CEO Chairman, how easy or difficult was it for you to take such a big leap? Here is a local bank, having aspirations to become nationwide, and predominantly a profile of your customers are very conservative. And here you come, number one, take a bold decision, being one of the very early adopters of the state-of-the-art core banking
solution.
And you chose Finacle at the time, and I asked you, sir, what makes you take this big step for a small bank? And then along with that, you actually took another bold step of completely rebranding Karnataka Bank. What were the triggers? In fact, normally changes associated with an outsider bringing in, energizing the bank. You have been within the bank, you have grown with the bank. How did this, and if I really look back at the history of Karnataka Bank, the biggest change has been that in terms of making a local bank into a nationwide presence. How did it all happen?
When I opened up to the global investor community, it was really demanding. And at that time, to answer to their queries, to meet their other requirements, I found that we should be technologically up to date.
Yes.
Otherwise, I would be telling them the data, stale data rather.
Yes. So
this was the time when earlier also I had the opportunity of working in the computers division and putting the standalone machines in the branches. And a connectivity of branches was working in my mind. The Infosys team met us, we also interacted, and what was in our mind was expressed, and the solution came from Infosys. My major two concerns at that time were, one, getting the employees prepared for this transformation. Some hesitance, some resistance. Then I knew that there would be some teething trouble. Managing the customers during the teething trouble.
Yes.
And once we do this, and I was sure about the success of the project, because of my background, because of my discussion with the people in Infosys, and because I myself and Mr. K. Rao, we had interaction on the subject. So about the success, we never had any issue or doubt at all. Preparing our employees and then managing this teething problem time with the customers. These were the two issues. So first I thought that let us prepare our employees, remove the hesitance and the resistance also. So had talk with the employee union leaders, brought them on board and told them this is for your good and for the improvement of the bank. And then I took some dedicated people to form the IT team and gave the charge to a person who headed the HR also.
Excellent.
So that the HR issues could be sorted out there itself. And then told this, we see, instead of rolling out the branches in numbers at a time, I told them pick up few branches, maybe less than 10. Work out on a pilot project. See what are the issues coming up, what are the problems the customers are facing. Try to solve them there. And thereafter roll out to other branches.
So if I summarize, number one, leadership conviction.
Yeah.
No doubt at all in the
Yeah,
leader's
yeah.
mind that, look, we are going to succeed and
Yeah.
it's going to make a difference. Second, anticipate the change issues.
Yeah.
You know, the whole change management, it's not so much the technology alone, but the change has to come in the attitude and mindset of the people.
Yeah.
So align the employees and prepare them, and actually for the changes, you know, what better way than
Yeah.
having the alignment even at the leadership level
Yeah.
on that. And the third, make sure that the initial challenges are anticipated,
Yeah.
pilot, so that there won't be resistance on a larger term
Yeah.
impact and rollout part
Yeah.
of it. That's interesting. Did you at any point of time have to face the challenge of what is the return on investment? You know, those days they were
Yeah,
called
yeah.
return on technology
Yeah.
investment.
That was there. And there also, I should say that we got the software from Infosys and the hardware from Sun at a reasonably good price. And thereafter, initial 3 years, I said, don't look to any return on investment. The return on investment in this may not be tangible. You will not find increase in ROI, ROE, this and that, etc. But I would certainly give, at the end of 5 years, the return in terms of quality,
Yes.
in terms of business turnover.
Yes.
And when we started implementing core banking solution, my employee strength, I had about 350, 370, 360 branches and 4,800 employees. During the first 5 years, I found the turnover more than doubled. The employee strength remained the same. So the return on asset increased. And when I completed my term in 2009, the turnover increased 4 times,
Yes.
the profit 6 times. The return on asset was 1.25 to 1.32%, one of the highest in banking industry.
One of the highest in the
Yes,
industry.
banking industry.
And employee productivity going up by 3 times.
Yeah. Employee productivity increased 3 times, and the number of total employees was 5,300 or 5,400. There was hardly an increase in number of employees by 500.
And the branches expanded by
Branches
what?
expansion from 370 to 470, 100 branches increase, and business going this way 4 times, but employee strength remaining the same or very marginal increase.
Per employee productivity has
Productivity
gone
is
up 3
going up.
times. Amazing.
This has resulted in the improvement of cost to income ratio.
Yes. So what was the change like, you know, from?
Actually, the cost to income earlier was around 60%, and 2009, with all these things, I am happy to say that it was less than 40%.
Wow. Less than 40%.
40%. That was the achievement which.
Fantastic.
So these are the benefits.
No, absolutely. No, so there is a underlying factor of managing the scale,
Yeah.
managing the efficiencies, and managing the reach.
Yeah.
As because you were able to go the anywhere model
Yeah.
to the hitherto unexplored areas
Yes.
in the north, etc.
Yeah.
But interesting to see when you talk about the employee productivity. What's been the experience from the customers? Because that was a phase you actually leveraged the platform
Yeah.
to make a huge expansion in the retail segment. What's been the feedback from the customers?
Initial teething trouble was there. Gradually we improved upon the system. They began to find that the service is quick. So the modern service with modern tech and human touch.
The high tech and high touch.
High touch.
And that what you say, embodied that in your mission statement as well.
Yeah.
Tech savvy bank,
Yeah.
customer centric bank, highest standards of corporate
governance.
ethical compliance.
Values.
I think that sums up Karnataka Bank
Yeah.
for everyone. Coming to the whole new paradigm, which bankers talk about, the innovation and regulation being two sides of the coin. Any thoughts how your technology transformation helped managing both sides of the coin?
I find the system today is geared up to meet all these things. The AML and KYC norms can be handled easily by going into the customer transactions.
Yes.
And procedure and systems can be improved, made easy also by fine-tuning the
Just configuring
them. Innovation is once again, I find new products. Ours is the unique card.
Both debit and credit rolled into one.
Rolled into one. A debit card with a credit line.
Yes.
And that product still, I'm happy about that product. One can use anywhere in the world that card. And I found that in my rural areas, people without literacy, they are also coming.
Amazing.
And I began to provide them with the biometric ATMs.
Fantastic.
In fact, another idea, but I could not do, perhaps in the days to come, a one-man kiosk branch.
Excellent.
So we have tremendous opportunity in increasing the customer base. 40% of our eligible population who can have access to bank accounts don't have bank accounts.
Yes. So let me conclude this session with 2 or 3 key messages from you. My first request would be for the banks out there across the world who are keen to embark such a transformation. So what's your message to the leadership of such banks? How they should really go about doing it?
Those leaders should create a vision, articulate the vision, passionately own the vision, and drive that mission to completion.
What's your dream for Finacle 2020? As a customer who has seen us grow and who has seen us serving you in the whole growth process.
I would like to see that Finacle will lead the bank software, will drive the bank software, and Infosys will take charge of the majority of the banking sector to introduce Finacle, manage it, both software and hardware. An outsourcing model I look to by Infosys to manage the entire IT operations of banking sector, majority of the banking sector.
So leave the bankers to banking alone.
Yeah.
Take over the other things.
Other things.
Manage their infrastructure,
Yeah.
manage the processes,
Yeah.
and of course bring in the best of the breed. Mr. Ananthakrishna, thank you very much for being on our
You're
show.
welcome. It has always been a pleasure talking to you.